Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And in this video, I want to start with the Bitcoin monthly returns chart. And well, in this cycle, at least so far, we have not really been doing what we did in the previous couple of cycles. And let me explain. And also let me explain why I think this is not bad and why I think this is actually pretty okay, at least for now. And we'll see what happens in the next couple of months, of course. So in the last cycle, Bitcoin went up quite a lot in the first 3 months of the year, and then it just went down in April, May, and June. Now, how much did it go up? Well, it went up 14%, and then in February, it went up like 37%. Now, actually, let's continue with February. Let's see what happened in the cycles before this. As you can see, in 2017, we went up 23%. In 2013, we went up 62%. In this cycle, I mean, we are down about 6%. So we are obviously not doing what we did in the previous 3 cycles. And is this bad? Well, I don't think it is. I still think that Bitcoin will be at all-time highs very soon, and I still think that $255,000 by the end of the year is actually a very realistic prediction, and it does not really matter if we do not copy what we did in the, couple of cycles before this cycle, because, of course, if the journey is different, that does not mean that the end point will not be the same, and I'm not bearish on Bitcoin. I don't think Bitcoin will, start dropping right now, but if it does, it's not going to be the end of the world. So it's still looking pretty good. Now, I want to look at the Ethereum chart for a second, and I want to look at the Ethereum quarterly returns chart. As you can see right now, we are pretty much red, and Q1 is about to end in like a month or so, and I think this is actually going to start turning green next month. Now, maybe it's going to start turning green at the end of the month rather than the beginning, but if you look at what happened in the previous couple of cycles, for example in 2021, we closed a green wick which was up about 160%, and then after that we closed another green wick which was like 500%. If this cycle is different, again, that does not mean that it's bearish. It only means that maybe we'll just go up in Q2 rather than Q1, So things are actually still okay, and I still think Ethereum and the other altcoins and Bitcoin will do just fine. You don't have to focus, on the monthly chart right now because, like I said, it's doing different things. So it's really hard to say what will do, but all we know is that it will most likely do what it did in the previous couple of cycles, except a bit different because, like I said, we are not doing what we did exactly 4 years ago or exactly 8 years ago or exactly 12 years ago. We are doing something else, and that's okay as long as we actually get to new all-time highs by the end of May. And speaking of all-time highs, I'm still expecting the altcoins to finish the main third wave move to the upside by the end of May. And I want to talk about something on the Cardano chart. I want to see how long it took from this all-time high right here to this all-time high. And as you can see, I already have this on the chart. It took about 1,337 days to get a new all-time high. And from this all-time high to this all-time high, we went up about 126%. Now, what happens if we do the exact same thing in this cycle? And what if this cycle is not different? Well, if we actually top 1,337 days after this top right here, that would mean that we would have to top at the end of April of this year. Is that possible? Well, maybe, but I think that we will most likely get a top by the end of May. So yeah, that prediction remains the exact same. And that means that Cardano pretty much has to be at all-time highs by the end of May if, one, we want to actually copy what we did here, and if actually we want to, get a 4 and a 5 at the end of the year. Now keep in mind, maybe we will not get a 5th wave, maybe we will just stop in a 3rd wave move, or we will just get here and then maybe do something like this before May, and then in May we do this, and that completes the whole cycle. That would also be okay, so taking profits in May will definitely not hurt you. Now of course, if we are not at all-time highs in May, then maybe we are doing something entirely different. However, you have to keep in mind that every single cycle so far, Bitcoin dropped at the beginning of the summer and it dropped pretty much until, let's say, the beginning of August, which means that if we are not at all-time highs by the end of May on the altcoin charts, Bitcoin will most likely still drop, and if that happens, the altcoins will take a major hit, so you have to be prepared for that. But that does not mean that we could not get, a top by the end of the year, like we did in 2018, for example. If you look at the Dogecoin chart, which was around for the previous cycle before the 2021 cycle, if you look at this, Dogecoin actually hit a new cycle high at the end of the post-halving year, and of course it hit another high right here in May. I already talked about this. Dogecoin and the coins that were around during this bull market and during this bull market as well pretty much had a double top. The first one was in May, then we went down during the summer, and then we hit a new cycle high at the end of November or December of the post-halving year, and we did the exact same thing in the previous cycle as well. I think we did the exact same thing in 2013 as well, but we don't have the data for this right here. However, we do have the data on the Bitcoin chart, and if you look at the Bitcoin chart, I mean, it always gets double tops. Let me go on the weekly for this. I talked about this multiple times already, so it's still bullish. Like I said, here we have a double top, here we have a double top, and here we have a double top, which means that in this cycle we will most likely get another double top. Now maybe this will not look like a double top, but you know, I mean, this did not either. I mean, this was obviously not a double top. It's just, you know, a higher high, which of course, I mean, that's still bullish, but you know, I mean, for example, in the previous cycle, yes, this right here looks like a double top, but if you look at this, I mean, this is of course not a double top. However, these tops happened, like I said, at the exact same time of the cycle, every single cycle. So Bitcoin will most likely start going up very, very soon, and whenever that happens, the altcoins will finally wake up, and when they wake up, trust me, they will wake up for good, because we are about to get a third wave of the third wave on most of the altcoin charts, even on VeChain, I think, and even on Chainlink and some other altcoins, even ICP. So the altcoin market is ready. Right now, what we need to do is just be patient, because, you know, these moves can take some time. I did talk about the structure right here that we are in right now. Pretty much everybody knows what we are doing right now at this point. But if you do not know what we are doing, I mean, we are in a similar looking structure to what we were doing in the previous cycle. We hit the trend line right here multiple times. We are still in an uptrend, just like we were right here. And here, after we formed this 1-2 setup, we actually had a correction, and we had a cross on the bull market support band, just like we have right now. And after the cross on the bull market support band, we did not hit another low. However, we just went sideways for a couple of weeks, I think. I think this was actually about 4 to 6 days. So I did tell you that this is a possibility, and well, you know, we got a cross on the bull market support band, and we could get another low, of course, but maybe we'll just do something like this over here, and we'll test the bull market support band multiple times for, like, let's say, until the end of March or so, and then we start going up. And of course, I'm not going to continue saying that, you know, I mean, of course, if we don't, you know, get a top by the end of May, I'm not going to say that we will get a top by the end of June or so. I'm not going to change my opinion. So let's say that we go sideways until March. At the end of March, we should get a pump, because if we do not, then things will not look good for the altcoin market. Now, if you look at the Bitcoin dominance chart, Bitcoin dominance is still near 60%, which is okay, because we are still in QT and we are not in QE. And also, we have to keep in mind, we do not really need QE for the altcoin season to start. I can show you an example. In the 2017 cycle, we did not need QE for the altcoin season to start. We just needed to wait until, you know, we got a drop, and this drop actually started at the end of February of the post-halving year. Are we about to have the same drop right now at the end of February? Well, I don't know, because in the previous cycle, the altcoin season actually started at the end of March. However, you could say that we were already dropping before that. However, I mean, here we were just going sideways, but as you can see, we already topped. And speaking of this top right here, I think this top right here looks very similar to what we had here. Oh, whoops, I made a mistake right here. So it's pretty much the exact same top. We had, you know, a big move to the upside. We went above the bull market support band. I mean, this right here looks like that to me. Then we dropped to the bull market support band like we did right here. And everybody thought that, you know, we would start the altcoin season right then, but we did not. We actually got a fake out, and we hit a new cycle high in the post-halving year in, I think, January. I think it was January 1st. And then we started going down, and that was the pretty much big beginning of the altcoin season. Of course, the altcoin season actually started here, but we were already going down here, and we did not hit a new cycle high after that. And here we did the exact same thing. It was a fake out, we got a new cycle high, and right now we are going down again. Of course, we're not going down like we were going down over here, so things are a bit concerning. I did tell you that it is possible for Bitcoin dominance to get a new cycle high, and if that happens, I mean, it would be good, because the ADA Bitcoin chart also looks like it will get another low, and I've explained why in my previous video. I mean, this 1-2 setup right here looks very similar to what we had over here, and if you look at what happened over here, we had a pump in the short term, and then we hit another low right here, which went below the 0.786 support level, and then we actually bounced, and then we started the third wave for this one to set up. Now, of course, the Elliott wave count does not work that well for these charts. However, they can work if you actually know how to use them, and I think this is actually going to happen again. I think this drop is very, very possible because, we got to the bull market support band right now. We just had a cross on the bull market support band on the ADA Bitcoin chart, and I think it's likely that we get rejected by it and hit another low. Maybe we hit like 500 satoshis or so, and if that happens until the end of March, then Bitcoin dominance could theoretically go higher. However, you have to keep in mind that Bitcoin dominance doesn't necessarily have to drop in order for ADA Bitcoin to drop, because ADA is not a huge altcoin, so this could literally drop on its own while Bitcoin dominance just goes sideways because, like I said, Cardano is not really a big altcoin. Of course, it's in the top 10, but compared to something like Ethereum or XRP, it does not have a huge market cap. So I'm still bullish on Cardano no matter what people have to say, and I know this period is boring right now, but trust me, it's going to get better, but it's only going to get better in like a month or so if we do not start, the altcoin season at the end of February like we did in 2017, so it's only a matter of time. And keep in mind, I'm the same person who made boring videos back here and nobody was watching them either, so, I did tell you back here that we will most likely get a pump at some point because it only made sense for that to happen, and yeah, we're just copying this structure right here, and I think we will get a pump very, very soon. People will finally come back to crypto, and this will be the FOMO wave, so you have to be ready for this. If you do not already have a position on Cardano right now, and this is not financial advice, but maybe you should have one, if things go perfectly well, we will most likely go up quite a lot in the next couple of months. If we don't, then yeah, it's pretty much going to be over for Cardano and for the other altcoins as well, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I still think that Cardano will do just fine, and people just need to be patient. And that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.